Stoneshard is a game equivalent of a person pretending to like you just so you'll keep doing favors for them, but in reality, they hate your guts. Let's check if this love-hate relationship is a match for you. Stoneshard is a game for three kinds of people. Masochists who can live out their fantasies of pure pain without suffering real-life consequences, people who need anger management class because you'll scream at your screen instead of the people in your life, and people who were never told no in their lives. In just a few hours, you will learn respect and address others with sir or madam. Oh yeah, subscribe and like or my goblins will spoil all of your milk. While it may not seem so, the game is turn-based. Every action you take counts as a turn. If you stand still, time will not advance, but even taking a sip of water will make the world turn. Stoneshard has two modes, hard and melee, and if you want to experience what the word despair means, go with melee. If you're new to the game, I strongly recommend the prologue, not just for the story background, but also to see firsthand how much Stoneshard wants to make your life miserable at every turn. In the tutorial, you play as Bandit, and the game does teach you how to play, but it also teaches you life's not fair and Bandit might hobble to the boss of the prologue already broken and in pain. Then Bandit saves his comrades who are understandably angry at him, so they leave him. Now that the friendship is ended with the caravan, you become the best friend of Bandit, and so your journey to lose your real-life sanity begins. It's the only tutorial where the game teaches you basic mechanics and at the same time teaches you that life is suffering and pain and that you're probably going to die alone. But at least you'll spot some tits on the way. If you didn't pay attention at the beginning, you'll go on your merry way to the first dungeon only to find out you weren't really prepared for the beatdown that's about to happen. To you, that is. There's a lot that can go wrong. One hit may injure you, which will lead to your poor mercenary being in pain. If you didn't bring anything to stabilize the injury or to relieve the pain, you may as well reload the game. Or maybe a bleeding occurred and you forgot to bring bandages, which of course leads to you bleeding out on the floor of the cold dungeon, with already trying to recruit another poor soul, which in future you will be able to create yourself, but for the moment you can only choose from pre-made characters. But you'll slowly learn from your mistakes and become confident in your abilities. Bandits will now fall without much trouble and you'll start to enjoy the carnage you now cause. Oh, an advice for any aspiring bandits out there: if you see two of your companions being mauled in a Nagan from the Walking Dead type of violent beatdown, do not walk towards the person maniacally laughing. Run in the other direction. Soon though, you'll come across wildlife and think, what can a couple of wolves do? I just destroyed a camp full of bandits. Turns out, wildlife is much more dangerous than people, and even one badly placed spider can make you lose your mind. Here's a scenario. You just finished a dungeon, your inventory is full of sweet loot, and you're on your way back to the town to celebrate your victory. But, oh no, you come across two wolves roaming around. A smile creeps on your face. Free pelts, you think? Instead of trying to run away, you decide to stand and fight. Moments later, you stare at the "you died, do you want to reload?" screen and regret every decision you made in your life leading up to that moment. That's Stoneshard's strength. You're never safe. Even if you feel like you can take on the whole world, there's always some creature able to absolutely ruin the gaming session for you. At the start of the game, you have a choice between various mercenaries to take on the adventure. While they're very different from each other, they have one thing in common. They are all culinary connoisseurs. The newest Stoneshard patch introduces a new morale and sanity system in which the mercenary needs to eat varied, high-quality food, otherwise they get very unhappy. It's very bold for the developers to assume my mercenary doesn't enjoy living off of berries and flatbread alone and that he wants to talk to people. Even though he just destroyed a dungeon full of cultists without taking barely any damage, he will become pessimistic. just because you denied them a succulent meal of meatballs and he was forced to eat just some fried eggs. The good news is, it's pretty hard to tank your morale and sanity to the point you're seeing and hearing things, but not impossible. You'll have to carefully balance adventuring, sleep, talking to other people, and doing things in order for the morale to stay high and sanity being at least okay. And if not, you can always raise your spirits by good old-fashioned drinking. Get absolutely blasted and forget everything, even your problems. You will wonder though what your mercenary did with their lives prior to becoming an adventurer, because not only do they not have almost any skills, they don't even know how to cook most of the food. For people wanting to be Michelin star critics, you'd think they'd know how to make simple pancakes or a soup. For talking with people, you are able to discover points of interest and you can visit them, and depending on the location, it can be very rewarding, except bear grounds. Avoid bear grounds. Believe me, don't choose the bear. Be prepared to backtrack a lot. While the caravan can bring you close to points of interest, there is a cooldown and you'll probably want to park close to towns. Traveling also uses resources, but those are easy to come by. Upgrading the caravan brings you a lot of good, and if done properly, you'll never need a tavern again. Except for rumors, which your mercenary seems to like because hearing rumors increases sanity. One aspect of the game I don't particularly like is gearing and loot drops. While you can get very rich enough to retire and tell to shove his caravan somewhere very dark, weapon and armor drops are a bit lackluster. Mostly because what drops is not very good, and it feels more like you're a cleaning service for the dungeon master instead of being a mercenary. Most of the time, even rare or uncommon items will be worth nothing, not even the repair cost. In fact, the drops can be so bad, even the merchant will say, "Yeah, you can keep that, please don't come back." If you do repair the items, most of the time, even in mid-game, you will operate with a loss because uncommons and rares are not exactly good. I would like it more if I found my gear in dungeons instead of needing to buy it for most of the time. But at least I'm keeping the economy alive. The loot in the dungeons is pretty okay, but don't forget to bring some lockpicks and a crowbar for some dungeons. There's a little trick you can do to maximize your profits. Bring your backpack to the dungeon and leave it at the entrance. Then, if you run out of space, you have a bit more space available at hand. If a fear of losing progress doesn't sit well with you, bring along a bedroll so you can save the game at moment's notice and save yourself a lot of heartbreak and pain. Soon after helping the good people of Osbrook, you'll unlock the caravan, a convenient way of both traveling and keeping an eye on you and order you around some more. This unlocks harder but also more rewarding contracts and a chance at secret rooms in the dungeons. A very exciting 5% chance per dungeon, not per dungeon floor, which may not inspire you with confidence, but my mercenary believes, and so should you. Just to know what to expect, this review was basically done a few days ago, but you're watching it now because I wanted to include the footage of the mythical secret room. And just when my morale and sanity hit lower levels than my mercenaries and I was hallucinating about using a mod, it happened. Right there in front of me, a secret room packed with treasure. Well, half packed with treasure, but when it does happen, you can expect to leave with a sizable addition to your wealth, and now buying good food is an actual possibility. Be warned, a nice meal can cost you more than weeks worth of lodging, so get your hands on recipes, because for some reason the developers think cooking is a soothing, non-stressful activity good for your morale and sanity instead of the nerve-wracking activity it really is. Stoneshard has been in early access for 5 years now. The updates have been a bit slower than a lot of people would want to, mostly because of the developers living in a real-life war zone, but the game still offers a lot of hours of pain and suffering, more than some self-proclaimed best entries in series AAA games. I'm looking at you, Veilguard. You're looking at a lot of hours to finish all of the dungeons, bosses, and to max your gear. The only thing is you're limited to level 30 at the moment, but that's to change in the future, as is the number of bosses and skills, with 3 skills being added regularly, and now the caves have been added, so more loot for you. There is a clear roadmap for the game, and for the moment it seems the developers managed to avoid becoming real-life mercenaries in the army, so we can expect more regular updates. Question is the game worth buying now in early access, or should you wait for the full release? Stoneshard at the moment is already a good game. Yes, it's harsh and treats you with disrespect on purpose, but that's only to teach you to take care of yourself and not give up even when you lost hours worth of progress. You could also play the Caves of Cod, but that's only if you hate your eyesight. Stoneshard has a lot to offer, and the truth is, you'll slowly but surely start to learn the game and know when and how to seek a challenge, unless you decide to go permadeath. That's a new though, don't look at me. That's it for Stoneshard overview. If you liked it, consider subscribing, comment down below, like the video if you learned something, don't if you don't want to. I'll see you in the next one. Bye!